Hi everyone, this is what Becky did last night, and today we're going to look at the brand new Faber Castell Pitt brush pens, which are the new redesigned double-ended pens, and I've got my old brush pens to compare with. Let's take a look. So here's the original full set of all of the Pitt brush pens. These are the small brushes. They used to have a big brush pen which was discontinued some time ago, and these are all India ink, and this is the lovely full set of all of the colors. So as you can see, we have a nice tightly fitted lid. They're all India ink, and they have this beautiful flexible brush nib on the end. It's a firm brush, to be honest, but it does have a little bit of give in it. And let's compare this to this set, which I picked up, which was, I don't know if it was an exclusive set or a special edition set, but I picked this one up from Jackson Art. And it's the first time I've ordered there for shipping since I moved to the States. I've ordered there in the UK before, so I did have a little wait on this, but they came up on offer and I don't like to pay full price for anything. So here you go. We have got a couple of bonuses in this set, because we have some of the black outliner pens, which will go through, a nice jumbo 2B, and a silver Pitt pen as well. But these are the ones we're going to be having a look at, and we're going to swatch them all out. So let's start from the top. And this is the black pen. Let me pull out the black pen in the original. So side by side, you can see that there is definitely a bigger barrel here. So there should be more ink being held within this chamber, I would say. And then brush nibs side by side, huge difference. Plus we have, see what I mean about the tightly fitting caps? We have a really nice fine, well, it's not quite fine. This is a 0.8 millimeter nib on the end, which would equate to, if I can find one, here is a Unipin 0.8 nib, which I would say this is definitely bigger. Let me find a few more pens to compare that to. Pigma Micron 0.8. Yep, it's bigger, so we're definitely going bold. Let's compare it to the Pigma Micron 10. Okay, so it looks... Interestingly, it doesn't seem to write as big as it looks, so maybe it is closer to a genuine 0.8. Okay, all right. Yeah, okay, that passes the test then. So yes, even though it looks like a bigger nib, it is definitely a 0.8. So, black. We have the brush nib. We have the bullet nib. And then in comparison to the original nib, we have this one. And let's do a little wiggle to give you an idea of how that brush nib works. Another test you can do for nibs is top and press. And then obviously this was the side on to see how wide you can. India ink. That's probably going to stain. which is good. If I flip it over, it has no bleed through. Okay, now this is why I know a lot of you are here because of the coloring book side of things that I do, and a lot of you are here because of the mixed media side of things that I do. These pens will work on most papers without bleeding through. If you saw my recent coloring I did with Prismacolors on the Moana picture, everything in here, all the pencil work was Prismacolors, but the borders I did in these exact new pens that I have now. And as you can see, there was no bleed through whatsoever. And this is just quite thin for coloring paper. And this paper was a freebie sketchbook that I got from somewhere, and it's only, what have we got here? 90 grams paper. So 90 grams of 41-pound paper. So this is probably even thinner than, you know, it's like printer paper basically. Right, but let's get back on with the colors that I have in this set. That one is black, obviously. Okay, interesting binder here. I've got a loop that holds 2 pens, and then this one at the top, which, there we go, got it. Okay, so I'm probably going to speed up at this point while I swatch all of these out, and then I'm going to write out all of the color names using their pens, and we'll do a smudge test with these pens. Not that it's part of the Pitt brush relaunch here, but just so you can see how they play together. So there we go. That's all the colors swatched out, and they are so, and I hate using this word for things that I can't drink, these are so juicy. I mean, they are packing a punch, and I don't know what to say, because I wouldn't use these for coloring, because previously, I'm talking about these ones here, I use these for mixed media for non-porous surfaces because I really like the smudgeability of it and how they dry permanent. On this test here, though, I tried to color a fairly solid square, and I didn't get any the same problems that I had with the original pens. So let me look up where my leaf green is here. So here's my leaf green. I just got to do a little test here, because usually you have a very short window of opportunity until they dry, until you start to get a line between, you see. So that's why I never, these are very, very difficult art, very difficult art supply to use. But due to how wet these are, you have quite an extra long open time to do your blending. That one might have been left just a little too long, but we'll see how that dries compared to that one. But don't forget, this is this really cheap thin paper, and there's still, look, no bleed through whatsoever, even though they are packing a punch. So then I thought, well, can you actually blend two colors with them? And again, with the original ones, that's always been really difficult to do, but yes, you can. And then this one, I let it dry just to see if the color would move if I put a yellow on top, and it kind of bleached it out a little bit. So there's something that could be used here. Okay, yeah, so we are getting a bit of a watermark here. This is interesting. What I like about using these in mixed media normally is I'm, painting or doing my layers in mixed media, and then I've covered the whole thing with, say, a gloss medium, gel medium, something like that, and then I can outline my items and do a smudging, and it just looks really beautiful. If you go back to my much older art journal pages where I've used Pitt Pens before, these ones, it's these guys, and that's how I've typically used them. But I also am into planning now, so in terms of like happy planners and stuff, or bullet journaling, you could use these pens in place of, obviously they're not the same as, say, like a Tombow marker, which is water-based. But because you have all these colors and they're permanent and they're not bleeding through, that's the main thing I'm saying about these, is that there's just no bleed through. If you get bleed through on a particular project, look at the paper you're using, because there's something unique about that paper. I would like to try these out on, if I can find it. I don't know if I have any here. I might be waiting to get that might be in one of the boxes that I need to ship over, but Yupo paper would be interesting for these. The fine details on coloring books, so wherever you would use a fine liner, so if you're coloring in lettering or coloring in tiny areas, or you just need a little smudged highlight or something, I might try these on top of wax or oil pencils where they are completely burnished, because then technically that'll be a slick surface and I might be able to get some nice smudging out of that. So I'm going to experiment. I mean, after all, I am more of a mixed media colorist than a fine artist or a regular colorist. So I'm gonna play with that the first opportunity I get. We have some lovely colors in this set. I got these from Jackson Art, but take a look around. I'll see if they still have this set that I have. I'm going to link it in the description. The silver, again, I mean, even just their other nib sizes. So these nibs are not, they're not new nibs. So all of this stuff is the world that they already have, but it's all India ink. The other thing I want to say about the black Pitt pens, which are the fine liners, if you like, or the outlining pencils, black pens, the pens even. These I really like because, and again, I've got the micron, I've got the, oh, I forget what they're called, the uni pins, I've got the Spectrum Noir fine liners as well. So I might have to do a comparison video of all of those because they all have different uses. So for example, some of these pens, they don't like water and some don't like alcohol markers. So if you're outlining a picture to color in yourself, so you've drawn a picture and you want to color it in, and maybe you're going to use pencil blending solution or alcohol markers or water-based mediums, it's important to make sure that you know which ones are going to smudge and which ones aren't. But going back to planning and happy planning and journaling, I have some stickers which are label stickers. In fact, I'll show you. And these are the only pens I could get to work on them that didn't smudge. So the more shinier kind of pens. So if I take paper, so if I take one of these pens and try and write on my label, it stays wet and very smudgy. But if I take one of my Pitt pens, as soon as that's dried, because these ones take, yeah, this one's still not even dry, but just a little bit of patience. Yeah, there we go. It's dried already. So this is a very non-porous surface. So you see how I'm trying to illustrate the unique properties of the Pitt pen and the alcohol, India ink properties, if you like. So, where does that leave this? Now, I wanted to do a little quick test now that this square has dried, because you do need a little bit of drying time to not smudge. But how are we doing now that that's... Yeah, I mean, that's not moving. Okay, so you can definitely layer your India ink on top of other India ink without moving it. So think of these more like how you have the Derwent Inktense pencils compared to a regular watercolor pencil. This is almost like that for alcohol markers, maybe, if you know, for a bit of a oversimplified comparison. Yeah, pack a punch. Whoa, Faber Castell. Let me put some links in the bottom. I'll do an Amazon link anyway, so you don't have to wait. I did have to wait quite a few weeks for shipping. They went from, I think, the UK to Sweden to over here, and luckily they didn't get stuck in customs anywhere, but the price was good enough to wait. But I'll see what links I can find for you. How are you going to use these? Have you got these? Are you going to use these? Tell me what you can do with them. I want to know. I want in on it. Let's compare ideas. And, well, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me see if I can use these in something. I'll get back to you on that. Take it easy. Thanks for watching.